So good day everyone. Today I'm going to share to you my reflection during the celebration of Palm Sunday, the beginning of the Holy Week. I will focus my reflection on two things, contradiction and faithfulness. In the Gospel of today, before the start of the Mass when we gathered outside the church, it's taken from Matthew 21, 1 to 11. So Jesus entered Jerusalem riding a donkey, and he was met by so many people, and accordingly, during the feast of the Passover, around 2 million people gathered in Jerusalem. So why a donkey? What is the contradiction here? So first, Jesus who entered Jerusalem as the King of Israel, or the Messiah, where the people shouted, Hosanna, Son of David, only rode a lowly donkey. A donkey for a king? Well, in ancient times, kings and his soldiers would ride horses in times of war, but a king would ride a donkey in times of peace. So even King Solomon, during his procession, during the celebration or ceremony of his coronation, he rode a donkey. Second contradiction. The same people who waved palms or garments to welcome Jesus in Jerusalem, who shouted Hosanna. By the way, in Greek, Hosanna means, the Greek word is Hosanna, which originally meant save us, are the same people, or maybe most of them, who shouted and cursed Jesus when he was walking with his cross to Calvary. The third contradiction, the mode. The mode of reception was festive, usually reserved for kings or military leaders upon returning from a successful combat. So that's the experience of Jesus entering Jerusalem. But the mode was totally different when Jesus was paraded by the guards on the way to Calvary. Now, let us turn to Jesus for the second part of our reflection during this celebration of the Palm Sunday. First, in the Gospel during the Sunday Mass, if you are going to go to church and we're already inside the church, Jesus went to Mount Gethsemane to pray. He even brought with him Peter, James, and John to accompany him, where Jesus prayed and talked to the Father. Now, some scholars would say that this event is the most intimate moment of Jesus and his Father. So it is in this time that Jesus poured out his heart to the Father. He even cried, and he asked the Father to take away the chalice away from him, or the suffering away from him, but not his will, but the will of the Father. Now, that is faithfulness. Second, Jesus warned not to go to Jerusalem because at that time he was the most controversial person. Many of the Pharisees and the chief priests wanted to hand him over to the Romans for prosecution on certain crimes. But why did Jesus risk his life on his journey to Jerusalem, despite knowing the danger of his life? Again, he was faithful to the will of the Father. Third, Jesus suffered and died on the cross because of his faithfulness to the Father. Now, let us look at our own situation. During this time of crisis due to the COVID-19, we witness a lot of contradictions. There are some of us who are very good in words, but nothing in action. Some of us become experts by posting opinions in Facebook or Twitter of but very little knowledge of what we are talking about, much less very ignorant and contradictory with our own beliefs and ideas. Some are educated but could not follow the simple rule of staying at home. But let us not focus much on the negatives. Let's go to the positive side. I personally witnessed, or at least watched in the television or social media, those people who are doing their jobs well. So I kudos to our frontliners. I have former students who are now doctors, nurses, medtech, hospital staff, firemen and women, and all those who are directly involved in the fight against COVID-19. I have witnessed politicians who are hands-on and lead their other government workers to provide services to their constituents who badly need their support. I have witnessed private individuals who are silently doing their part to help people in need, like giving relief goods, making protective gears, even singing inspirational songs, and praying ardently. There are many heroes today, faithful heroes, and all of them are faithful to their baptismal promises. They are faithful to their calling as human beings. For us Christians, as we start the Holy Week, let us be reminded of these two realities, contradiction and faithfulness. Let us try to avoid contradicting with our values, beliefs, and faith. For example, we follow the DOH or the government guidelines for quarantine. Prevent from sharing fake news. Avoid posting unnecessary opinions and ideas in social media. Support our government and disregard partisan politics. Pray for our frontliners. Pray for our politicians. In other words, be faithful to your calling or to our calling as Christians. That is, to love, to spread love, and to live in love. Since we have a lot of time, give more time for prayer and reflection. Join the celebration of the Holy Week through television or internet. Have more time to reflect on the contradictions in your life and pray that Jesus or that you will be faithful like Jesus. Let me end this with a prayer of Pope Francis. He said, or he prayed, this moment in history is a time to choose what matters in life and what passes away. A time to separate what is necessary from what is not. It is a time to get our lives back on track with regard to you, O Lord, and to others. A blessed Holy Week to everyone.